This is a fun follow-up to a video we did yesterday about Tesla's brutal first quarter financial report. Well, its beleaguered CEO and our shadow president, unfortunately, Elon Musk, actually joined the earnings call, and he sounded audibly defeated as he announced that he would be significantly reducing his day-to-day involvement with the federal government, which is the very thing that caused Tesla's brand damage in the first place, and we have to talk about it. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we got some clips, audio clips of Elon Musk phoning into this investors' earnings call, okay? And CNN put some of them together on Aaron Burnett's show. We're going to play some of these clips and dive deeper into the call itself. But for those of you who are driven by Schadenfreude, for those of you who rightly and righteously dislike Elon Musk, some of this will be intensely satisfying for you. So pop the popcorn, pop the champagne bottles, and listen up.
Now out front tonight, the breaking news: Elon Musk's empire suffering a major blow tonight with profits plunging more than 70%. And Musk, just moments ago, in a call that we've obtained, admits this reason as to why.
There's been some blowback for the time that I've been spending in government with the Department of Government Efficiency, or doge.
There are some challenges, and I expect that this year will be. There'll probably be some unexpected bumps this year. I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so.
And Elon is speaking on this Tesla call, spoke for a majority of the call, in fact, which began about 90 minutes ago. And just to be very clear, Elon Musk being on the call and talking for as long as he has, right? So we're now talking 90 minutes or so this has been going on, is not a business as usual thing. He does not usually get on this call and talk. In fact, in 2021, he said this.
I think going forward, I will most likely not be on earnings calls unless there's something really important that I need to say.
Musk did something really important on this call. When he talks about something important to say, perhaps nothing more important than this: keeping up his fight against Trump's tariffs.
Tariffs will, tough on a company when margins are still low. I just want to emphasize that the tariff decision is entirely up to the President of the United States. I will weigh in with my advice with the President, which he will listen to my advice, but then it's up to him, of course, to make his decision. I've been on the record many times as saying that I believe lower tariffs are generally a good idea for prosperity. But this decision is fundamentally up to the elected representative of the people, being the President of the United States. So, I'll continue to advocate for lower tariffs rather than higher tariffs, but that's all I can do.
Some of that was, again, you can hear the defeat in Elon Musk's voice. Him acknowledging that there are bumps in the road, indicating that he would be scaling back his involvement with the federal government and Doge on a day-to-day basis, while, of course, still trying to have some sort of foot in the door because, of course, he loves that power. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. But there has to be some recognition on some level that he is responsible single-handedly for the brand damage that Tesla has suffered. It's all his fault. It's another self-inflicted wound. It's one of the many things that he and Donald Trump have in common. And before I play another clip here, I also want to draw attention to Musk's popularity because this is really, really important. Nate Silver of the Silver Bulletin, formerly of 538, was tracking and has been tracking Elon Musk's approval rating because even though Musk is not an elected official, he is in many ways at least the second most powerful person in the country, although his influence with Trump appears to be waning significantly. As he notes, after declining rapidly once Trump took office in January, Musk's net favorability has held steady around negative 13 points since late March. Why? Possibly because he scaled back the public-facing part of his role in the Trump administration as he prepares to exit government later this year. If you look, folks, this is brutal. Unfavorable, 53%. Favorable, less than 40, 39%. Negative, 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 negative. Just one after another. People don't like this guy, and he's hemorrhaging support even among Republican voters as well because they just don't like his corrupt conflicts of interest, his corrupt incentives. They don't like the lack of charisma he has, the awkwardness, the cruelty that he demonstrates, the trollish nature on social media. And the fact of the matter is that when it comes to his government involvement, he has been wildly incompetent. Doge has been one failure after another. Remember, initially, Elon Musk said that Doge would cut $2 trillion from the federal budget. $2 trillion. 2 trillion at least, actually, was the phrase. And everyone at the time said, that's impossible. Can't do it. So then a month later, he's like, it'll probably be about 1 trillion. And then in the most recent cabinet meeting, Elon Musk showed up and said, I'm pleased to report that we plan to cut $150 billion from the fiscal budget, literal orders of magnitude off from his initial projections because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Set that aside, all the high-profile screw-ups, the firing of the caretakers of the nuclear arsenal that he then had to hire back, the various clumsy probes into the U.S. Treasury and Social Security. It's been a dumpster fire. So he has nothing going for him. And on top of all that, not only has his tenure with Doge been so universally panned, but it's actually created meaningful blowback against Tesla, his brainchild, the company that is the twinkle in his eye. That's hilarious. It's hilarious that he's done this because it did not need to be this way. But he made the decision to be incredibly, viciously partisan and cruel, and he's suffering the free market consequences, which is that people say, okay, well, I'm just not going to support Tesla anymore, and I'm going to encourage others to divest themselves of Tesla support. That's the free market. That's voting with your wallet. Elon Musk doesn't like it. But financial experts have indicated that Musk has done permanent brand damage to Tesla as a consequence. Take a look.
On the tariff issue. And I want to go now to Dan Ives, Peter Tuchman, and Alexis Glick, all back with me. So, Dan, you were able to hear that call. Elon doesn't usually get on that call. That's the whole point. And he's on, and he's being very, very calm in what he's saying. But obviously, profits plunging 71%. And there's a reason for that, right? And that reason is him and Trump and Doge.
I mean, this was a moment of truth for Musk. Because on this call, and I think he did a great setup, I mean, this was really, investors are massively frustrated. In our opinion, it was a fork in the road. He basically had to recommit to Tesla and sort of take a huge step back from Doge. And that was something that he did. And I ultimately believe this is really the beginning of the end of how he's going to be with the Trump administration, because the brand damage, we think it's 20% in terms of 20% permanent brand damage potentially from this. And the reality is, when you look at Tesla, and Tuchman and I have talked about it, it's not just the brand damage, the tariffs as well. It's sort of been a 1-2 punch, and that's why Musk had to be a much different Elon Musk on that conference call than he's been.
Exactly. So think of how belligerent and cruel and gleeful and condescending he is on Twitter. He's all of those things. But he had to scale all of that back, I think, because to some extent, to some degree, he has been humbled. I mean, not just his approval rating, not just the relentless polls, not just the brand damage to Tesla, but also the Wisconsin State Supreme Court special election, where he got a shellacking because Democrats were able to successfully make it a referendum on Elon Musk himself. And it turns out that though Elon Musk is incredibly powerful, he's not incredibly liked. And he is a motivating force for Democrats to turn out and to deny him further power still. I do think it's interesting that, that Donald Trump again has implemented this tariff regime, which has screwed Tesla. I mean, Tesla actually wrote a letter to the Trump White House. We did a video about it. I think it was a month, perhaps 2 months ago, where they said, don't do this because it's going to cause significant damage to Tesla. They were calling the Trump administration out. Musk on this call, in his own roundabout way, is calling Trump out as well. He thinks tariffs are a disastrous idea. And he's right on those, by the way. The Trump tariffs are a disastrous idea. But it's also clear, based on his relatively humble tone, the audible defeat, he's lost currency. He's lost some measure of stock and influence with Donald Trump, and the tariffs are continuing unabated, although Trump has also signaled that he was waving the white flag with China because the pressure is mounting as well. So these are two authoritarian, malignant narcissists totally tripping over themselves and stepping on rakes and creating self-inflicted wounds that they need not have done. I want to play another clip here, and we'll dive deeper as well into the an Axios report on that earnings call.
Elon Musk coming out, and it's important to emphasize his tone here. It's not the dumb as a bag of bricks words that he threw around at Peter Navarro. This is an earnings call. He's been calm and professional and saying that the tariffs are not a good idea. Does Musk have any influence over the president on this at this time?
I mean, Aaron, that has been a central question of this entire almost first 100 days of this new administration. How much influence does Elon Musk have? And of course, on some things, he has considerable influence. But on this, in particular, on tariffs, he's had very little, at least at the beginning. Elon Musk, of course, made it very clear he was opposed to this sweeping tariff plan. He, was aggressively attacking Peter Navarro, who was largely behind it. However, Elon Musk may have had more of a hand in the president deciding to put a 90-day pause on most of it. So I think it's very much a mixed bag in terms of how much influence Elon Musk has had, particularly on this. But by saying he will step aside, this is just one more indication that we've really been able to see almost week by week by week. His influence is waning. His presence here at the White House is waning. At the very beginning, in the first several weeks, Elon Musk was in the Oval Office so many times as we saw. He was in the cabinet room. He was omnipresent. He was everywhere. We've not seen him nearly as much. That does not mean he's not working behind the scenes, but it's clear his Department of Government Efficiency has been one of the challenging points of this administration. So we shall see how long he stays involved. But
Elon.
So again, interesting in terms of the assessment of the tariffs. I also, while that was going on, then of course I thought about something else, which is Maggie Haberman of the New York Times actually had a really good interview as well, also on CNN, in which she made the point about Elon Musk apparently being blindsided by Trump's Tesla approach. I mean, this was interesting too. So this is Maggie Haberman, who's kind of the Trump whisperer at the New York Times. She's very well connected. She makes a really good point and kind of rubs salt in the wound to Elon Musk's series of defeats here lately. Let's listen to what she has to say.
We had been hearing that he would probably have another month or so that he was going to do solidly. Now he said probably in May, so I don't know what that means. That could be fungible, but special government employees have a certain set number of days that they can work, 130 days, but you can spread that out over time. And so my take on what he said is that he is going to attempt to do that. He made clear that he is going to try to continue to be involved in the government as long as Trump will have him. I mean, I don't know that Trump is eager to have Elon Musk continuing on the way he has. There has been constant controversy. There have been complaints from cabinet secretaries. But I know Trump does like, and a lot of his aides like, a lot of the Doge team that is in place. And Trump even said at a cabinet meeting, they're going to stay in place. I think that Trump is not necessarily going to want to have a direct confrontation with Elon Musk saying, I think I've had enough, you need to go. So I suspect Elon Musk can drag this out for a while. I do want to make one point, though, to your point about how he invested in Trump and it paid off big, and that's clearly true. Some of the blowback on Musk is in how Musk has handled this effort at supposed government shrinking that he's been working on and the way he has talked about federal workers, number one. The other is one of the areas where they are in conflict. Tariffs. If Elon Musk did not realize that Donald Trump supported tariffs, which is one of the few core beliefs he has had for 40 years, I don't know what he thought was going to happen, but if somebody says over many, many months they're going to do this, you should assume they are.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
That, to me, is a huge point that MAGA needs to be confronted with on a continual basis, because one of the things that we hear from MAGA Republicans and Trump supporters is, well, I didn't think he was actually going to do it. Sure, he talked about it endlessly, ad nauseum. He swore he was going to do it, but I voted for him. I supported him because I hoped he was lying, because I thought he would be easily distracted and manipulated. Think about what an indictment that is of your support of Trump. If your support of Trump is contingent on, well, I didn't think he was going to do what he said he was going to do. So either you think he's a liar, which is kind of strange that you're supporting a liar, or you think that he's incompetent and would be easily distracted and manipulated by others to not do what he was going to do. No matter what the interpretation is, it's really bad. And that appears to be where Elon Musk is. Elon Musk, effectively tossed $300 million to get Donald Trump elected during the course of the presidential campaign. And he had no idea the tariffs were coming. He didn't think that it would actually come to fruition, even though it's devastated his company. I mean, again, it's a stunning indictment of Elon Musk's lack of judgment. And it seems to indicate that all he was interested in was owning the libs. Like, he just hated the libs so much, he wants to own the libs. And then he hoisted himself by his own petard and set up a man into power who was going to do enormous damage to his company. Of course, he's also doing enormous damage to his own company. So this is just where it is. I mean, Elon Musk seems more vulnerable and defeated than we've ever seen him. Now, he's still incredibly rich, incredibly dangerous, but anything which causes a distance between him and Trump in terms of their partnership is good for the American people, because it makes both of them considerably less formidable. So we'll see what happens, but it looks like Tesla has been damaged significantly by Elon Musk himself, and there seems to be some sort of deep-seated understanding by Musk that that's what's happened. And so he is indicating that he's going to scale back his involvement with the Trump administration, which was the very thing that caused that damage in the first place. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.